We're in Indiana Jones mode today, guys. We're on the hunt for hidden treasure. We're heading on a bog road to look for a stone carved with a mysterious inscription on the northern slopes of Mount Brandon. Let's go. After 2 hours of fairly difficult climbing, we finally made it to the Arraglen Ogham stone. We're up here in the clouds, and this is the sandstone which we've come to see. It features not one, but two carved crosses of the style known as the Maltese cross. But we're more interested in these incisions along the side of the stone, up the left, across the top, and down the right. Now, you all remember, I'm sure, that these inscriptions in the earliest form of the Irish language make use of an alphabet of horizontal or diagonal incisions across a vertical line. This alphabet called Ogham or Ogham. The function of these stones isn't always clear. They may in some cases have marked the burial place of the person named on them, or they might be marking territory. In many cases, their function remains entirely mysterious. Now, this is the second Ogham inscription that we've looked at in this Treasure Ireland series. The first was in a field in County Carlow, and its inscription named someone called Dominicans Maci Mariani, Dominicans, the son of Marianus. And what was interesting about that stone is the presence of a Roman name, Marianus, as well as the presence of final syllables that would later be lost in the development of the Irish language. So scholars were able to date that inscription to sometime before the 6th century. Now, that stone was a lot easier to get to than this one. And here in Kerry, there are dozens of other Ogham inscriptions. A third of all Ogham stones in Ireland are found in this county. There are 60 of them just here on the Dingle Peninsula. So why march all the way up here to the Arraglen Ogham stone? Because this is a very rare and special inscription indeed. Most Ogham inscriptions just give a name, X the son of Y, but a tiny handful give us more information. What this inscription says is Crivither Ronan Mac Covagan. Ronan Mac Covagan is a name, Ronan the son of Covagan. And you'll have noticed there that we're lacking here the final syllables that were in the Carlow inscriptions. We don't have Maci, but Mac. So it's a little later than that inscription. These words do have internal syllables, though, that will be lost in a further development of the language, so it can be dated to the 6th or early 7th century. It might have been put up here during the lifetime of the great St. Brendan himself, after whom this mountain is now named. But what's important about this inscription is the first word here, Crivither. It's the earliest form of the Old Irish word for a Christian priest. Later, when that internal syllable is lost, it becomes Crivther. Here it's in the genitive case, the famous Tishil Ginnejach. So the whole inscription is translated of the priest, Ronan, the son of Covagan. Now, if you speak modern Irish, you might be wondering about this word, Crivther. Sogert is the modern Irish word for priest, a borrowing from the Latin sacerdos. But this word, Crivither, is a borrowing from another Latin word for priest, a specifically Christian word, presbyter. Scholars have suggested that this Latin word was pronounced tremiter by speakers of British Latin, and this became crivither when it was borrowed by speakers of Irish, since at the time the Irish language lacked the p sound and systematically replaced all borrowed p sounds with k sounds. So Patricius himself, the Apostle of Ireland, was called Cuthrica by the people who first heard him preach here. And when he and other British Christians active in Ireland used their word premiter, it became here crivither. So this 6th century inscription is one of the oldest surviving written witnesses, possibly the oldest surviving written witness to the Christian priesthood in Ireland, and the whole sacramental system that went with it. We don't know why this stone is here, and we know next to nothing about Ronan, son of Covagan, but we do know that he was a priest, and therefore that he had been ordained by a bishop to celebrate the Eucharist in this region 1500 years ago, to baptize, to reconcile sinners, to anoint the sick, and to share the good news of Jesus Christ here at the edge of the world.